Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagardev, Jai Masters. It's common in spiritual teachings and with spiritual teachers to recognize that the mind is the problem. That's helpful. At least you know where the problem is. But it doesn't solve the problem. So some people teach to quiet the mind. Meditation, many different forms of meditation are about quieting the mind. People take prolonged periods of time, retreats and sabbaticals to try and quiet the mind. Trouble is, when they come back to their job, to their family, to finances, to issues, it doesn't take all that long for the thing to start talking again. Does it? Let's be honest. It's nice to get the reprieve from a troubled mind, but somehow the interactions with life, with the world, people, places, things, money, everything, relationships, just seem to stir it up a little bit. Anybody with me? Anybody noticed? So I always say, people sometimes say to me, why don't you teach meditation? Everybody teaches meditation. It's wonderful. There's so many techniques. Find something that works for you. I want to teach what to do when you're not meditating. That's what I've learned over all my years. Doesn't mean you don't meditate. It means a lot of time you're not meditating. So what are you doing when you're not meditating? So let's talk about it. The mind is noisy. That's just the truth. The mind is noisy. Everybody's mind talks about something different. We don't realize that. I've taught you that. Psychology says man is the sum of his learned experiences. It's not true. You are the consciousness watching the psyche, the emotions and mental planes that are the sum of your learned experiences. That's all you have in there, in your mind, other than your intellectual mind, your pure abstract mind, which can think about the universe, can think about God, can think about inventing things, can think about all kinds of things. That's not the mind that's a problem. The mind is not a problem. The problem mind is the personal mind. What does that mean? What's the difference? If you're sitting there trying to solve a math equation, you're sitting there trying to solve some engineering problem, you're sitting there trying to write music, you use your mind. It's a very good tool, if you haven't noticed. It's very useful for things. I don't think you'd like not having one. Remember Wizard of Oz? Somebody was looking for the straw man, somebody looking for something. Right? One was looking for a heart, one was looking for a mind. All right? So the mind is fine for that. Okay? The trouble is, that's not where it rests. That is not the natural state of the mind. The natural state of the mind is as follows. There are things I want. How do you know? The mind told me. The heart told me. There are things that make me feel good. Things make me feel bad. I want the things that make me feel good. I don't want the things that make me feel bad. Very logical. Okay, so first of all, where'd that come from? How do you know what you want? I know what I want. Yeah, really. You want the same thing you wanted when you were 10 years old, when you were 20 years old, 15, right? Yesterday, right? Kind of changes, doesn't it? How do you know what you want? So we'll put that aside for a second because we're going to touch all of this. If you want to understand mind, you need to talk about mind, not about let's make it quiet, force it to be quiet. Good. I did it for 6 hours a day for years. All right. And then I said, well, I would like to find out why it's doing what it's doing instead of trying to make it stop doing what it's doing, because then underneath it still wants to do what it's doing. You have to fight with it. You have to struggle with it. You have to use extreme disciplines and all kinds of things. I'm a scientist. I want to know, why does it do what it does by itself? Why is it not otherwise? And what you'll see is, let's get it out right away. You've had experiences in your life. Every one of you, obviously, have experiences every moment of your life. Okay? Some of those experiences are pleasant when they come in. Some are unpleasant. Some are neutral. I guarantee you don't talk about the neutral ones, the white lines on the road, the clouds that went by, unless the cloud looked like your grandfather's rocking chair and you loved your grandfather and he died 2 years ago, and all of a sudden that cloud's different than the other cloud, isn't it? You either like it or I don't want to see that cloud ever again. Okay? So basically, things come in and they hit you in there. You're in there. And either they are pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. Fine. We know that. It happens. Okay? So that's the first thing the mind does. Actually, you do it to the mind. You understand, you made your mind the way it is. Don't you ever think your mother did it, your father did it, your first boyfriend did it. You made your mind. Psychology says, don't tell them that. Well, I'm sorry. How do I know? You're the only one in there. Mommy in there? Daddy in there? Preacher in there? Rabbi in there? First boyfriend? First girlfriend? Anybody else in there? That's a single occupancy apartment. That's the first thing to understand. You are conscious and you're in there and you have will. And one thing you do with your will is as follows. It's very instinctual. You don't decide to do it. It's instinctual. Just like a lion jumps at you. Somebody takes a swing at you, you throw your hands up. Okay? When the stuff comes in and it's not comfortable, you in there, who lives in there, you don't want to experience it. I don't want it to feel uncomfortable. The trouble is it does. How do you know? You wouldn't be messing with it if you didn't know it was uncomfortable. Go slow motion. It happens. It comes in and you experience it. That's the first thing consciousness does, is experience. And if the experience is not comfortable, you protect yourself from it. How? I'll tell you what, make it so it didn't happen. And just think about it. You're going to realize, I can't make it so it didn't happen. It did happen. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in here. If it didn't happen, it wouldn't be bothering you in there. But it did happen, and it came in, and it bothered you. That's the start. Okay? What do? You in there, who lives in there, when it comes in and it doesn't feel comfortable, you push it away. You say, I don't want to experience this. But you did experience it. I teach this all the time. You can't make the outside event not have happened. How could you say that to me? I can't believe you said it to me. Well, obviously they said it. You wouldn't be in there being bothered by it. You can't make them not have said it. They can apologize all they want. They still said it. It came in and it bothered you. That is a basic fact. So if the event takes place outside and it comes into you and it feels uncomfortable, you don't want to experience it. You don't think like that. You just don't want to experience it. I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did. I don't like what you didn't say. Whatever it is, right? So what do? You can't get rid of the outside event. It happened, or it wouldn't be in there. What you do is take the inner energy. It comes in as energy. The lion doesn't come in. The person doesn't come in. The mother doesn't come in. The vibration, the energy comes in to your inner state. And what you do is you push it away. That's the beginning of understanding the mind. That's a foundation of mind. Okay? Well, the foundation of mind is it experiences things. That's what it's there for. Comes in, picks up your senses, and then presents it to the self, presents it to the consciousness. If you didn't have senses, it wouldn't come in. It comes in through your senses, passes up your nervous system, consolidates in the brain, and then the vibrations, the actual energy. You do understand, you wouldn't be here. The brain is a mass of neurons. Very good. But those neurons picked up the impulses that got passed in through the senses. And the central nervous system is all there. That's not where you are. You're outside of that. You're the self, the consciousness. So that what happens into the mind, very, very subtle riches, energies, pass into the mental plane. And all of a sudden, that which was outside is inside. I've given that talk. It's so hard for me because I know you don't know it. I teach it to you over and over again. I want you to go check your science books, your health books, right? You are not looking at me right now. You are not looking at me. Science will tell you that. Light is bouncing off of my form. Well, what if it doesn't bounce off? Then it goes right by as part of the air. But the shape of my atoms that make up my body, you're not looking at them. Light is bouncing off of them and hitting your eyes. Exactly the shape that bounces off. That's what's going on. So you're looking at me inside. The light stimulates the optical receptors. It passes up the optical nerves. It gets received by the brain, almost like packets of energy from a computer, all right, so network. It passes it up there. Then what? Then the subtle vibration, very subtle, the subtle neural energies vibrate, and on your mental plane, it renders a vision, a rendering, just like when you watch TV. Those are really pixels, little dots on the TV. If you get up close enough, you'll see them. But you step back and then it makes the image. So an image is being made in your mind. The mind is not the brain. The mind is a much higher vibration of energy. But the image is being made that's passed along the entire nervous system, all the way through the brain. Then it vibrates, and you, the consciousness, are looking at it in there, period. They are not senses, they're sensors. The same thing with sound, the same thing with taste, the same with touch. It's picking up the outside chemicals, vibrations, light patterns, and passing them up to you in there. And that's where you're seeing them. You're not looking out through your eyes. The camera doesn't look out at what's taking a picture of. What's taking a picture of leaves an image inside the camera. That's what's happening inside of you. So that's the most basic function of mind, that it picks up the receptors, and you in there, the consciousness, gets to see what's going on out there, even though you're not looking out there. Okay, so that's the most basic function of the mind. So now it's picking up the vibrations, and what happens is some of the vibes are, giving out good vibrations, 60s song, all right? All right? And either bad vibrations, good vibration. Energy has its own entire spectrum. It comes in, and you experience it. I already talked about once before. We'll stop there. Now what happens? You, the consciousness, the self, the Atman, you, the indwelling awareness of being, are aware of the vibration that got created in your mind. And what your tendency to do is, if you don't like it, you protect yourself from it. How? By pushing it away. Don't talk about that. I don't like when you talk about that. Ever drive down the street and see a poster or something that reminds you of something you didn't like, and all of a sudden you're in a bad mood? Can you feel it coming back up? You tell people, well, I don't like to talk about that. No, I don't want to talk about that. Why? Because it makes it come back up. Why? Because you stored it in there. I stored the person? No, you stored the vibration. That's a samskara. You stored this packet of energy that came in. It rendered in your mind. It renders vision. It's not just the vibration. You actually see the picture inside. Paints a picture inside. That's where you're looking at it. But the vibration, what matters is if it doesn't feel good and you don't like it, then you push it away. When you push it away, you stored it. And it's going to stay there for your rest of your life, period. That's what I found out. No matter how small it is, if a friend of yours, you call out to them at school or walking down the plaza, hey, Sally, and she doesn't say hello, next time you see her, if it's 3 days later, it comes back up. That feeling of rejection, that non-comfortable feeling, that, and maybe you ask, how come you didn't say hello? Or maybe you're afraid to ask because you don't want to find out. Or maybe you look stupid because she had earbuds on. That's the personal mind doing its thing. It came in, you couldn't handle it, and so you pushed it away. And so it got stored in there. That's what all your subconscious is. That's what all the denial and repression and all the stuff Freud talked about. That's what happened. You didn't push mommy down there. You haven't seen mommy for 30 years, but she's still down there because you stored it down there. If it had a bad vibration, you didn't want to experience it, and you push it down there. That is what creates the personal mind. The intellectual mind is this gift that was given to you. You have the ability to think of things. You have the ability to create things. The mind is a beautiful thing. Einstein's mind, everybody's mind, your mind. Doesn't have to be a genius. You don't have a genius mind. Your mind is capable of logic. It's capable of understanding. It's capable of all kinds of things. And it's also capable that when the energy comes in and you in there don't want to experience it, you have this ability to resist it, to push it away. You know what it feels like? You push it away. And then it's stored down there, and it comes back up later. It comes back in your dreams. It comes back, somebody says something, doesn't it? That is what I call the personal mind. That's the mind that is dedicated to you, not to science, not to understanding, not to God. You, okay? You know how much, and we're getting there slowly, how much of your mind's about you? I'd be kind and say 95%. It's all about I, me, mine. What do I have? What do I want? This is my child. I'm not about me. It's not my child and my husband. My, I, me, mine. It's about you. It's about you. You took it personal. And then you built inside your mind, inside the very beautiful mind that's capable of doing anything, you built this whole system that said, I like this and I don't like that. Doesn't your mind say that? You have opinions, hopes, dreams, concepts, views. What are those? Mine. They're mine, and they're about you. No, hope is a wonderful thing. I'm very bad. You should not come out here to see me. Why? Because I'm going to tell you, hope's a wonderful thing. If the alternative is to have hope or be depressed, please have hope. Don't listen to me. What is hope? I hope things will be the way I want. How many of you hope things won't be the way you want? That's what your hope is. What are your dreams? I dream someday my ship will come in. I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. In other words, I'm not okay in here. Of course you're not okay in there. You stored everything that ever bothers you inside of you. How could you possibly be okay? If you store everything that disturbed you inside, you're going to be disturbed. And you know you are. You're trying not to be. No, I am very positive. I like this one. I practice positive thinking. Why? Otherwise, it's pretty negative. Okay, and yeah, you're right. I'm not telling you not to do these things. I'm explaining why the mind is the way it is so you can understand what to do about it, really. So now you're in there, your consciousness is in there, and it's being distracted constantly by what you like, by what you don't like. And then what does the mind do? It uses its intellectual power, because it's very powerful, we said that, it's intellect, to figure out how to get what you want. Where do you want to go on vacation? What do you care? Planet Earth. No. I once went to Hawaii. It was so wonderful. But then I went to Alaska and it was neat, but I froze. I don't want to go there again. It's just impressions that got left in your mind because you stored them there. And so when you decide what you want and what you don't want, you're not deciding what you want and what you don't want. No, you don't get to make that decision. You're taking the sum total of those experiences that you've had and trying to figure out which one I have again and don't want to have again. So your preferences are patterned. You're programmed by what? Did somebody type it into you or use voice recognition? No. Your sensors picked it up, passed it into you, and you picked one from column A and two from column C and one from here, and you stored them in there, and you ended up with a preference system. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whether you like politics or don't like politics, whether you like men or women, it's all been programmed into you at one point or another. Right? There's biological things, but they're programming you too, because you're not your body. And your body sends all kinds of messages up to your mind, doesn't it? And so basically you've been patterned. Your mind is patterned by the outside world. That's the simplest thing I can say. And then what happens? Because the outside world has patterned your mind, it develops thoughts about that, about what I want and what I don't want. So you built these preferences inside your head. And guess what? Every single one of you have different ones. There's not a single person that ever walked the face of the earth or ever will that had the same experience as you. Every moment, you're having a unique experience. It's at a different angle, you're hearing different things, different thoughts are going on. You're having an experience. Then you go to the next moment. They didn't go with you. These are twins. It doesn't matter. Every single person is having a unique path through life. No one thinks the same as you. No one ever will, and no one ever has. Can you have one experience that changes the entire way you think? Meet somebody or get fired, all of a sudden your whole thought pattern change. You're being programmed by the experiences you're having. Trouble is you think it's so logical. Well, of course, if I get fired, I'm unhappy, I'm going to be radical. There's no of course. It's what I'm saying. You're being programmed by the experience. If you didn't have that experience, would your mind think differently? Yeah. What's it telling you? You're being programmed by the experiences you're having. It's not logical. It's not illogical. It's just truth. So when they come in, they impact and influence what's already in there. Now, what's already in there are your preferences from the past. They can change in a minute. Just fall in love with somebody, fall out of love with somebody. That's what's happening in your mind. We're going to talk about what to do about it. But first, I want to lay the foundation. It's not you. It's not your personality. It's not your ego. It's just something that got built inside, mostly out of reaction. that you like something or don't like something, and then it influences your decision-making and decides your path through life. And so, but you're so busy trying to say, I want to be okay, and I don't want to not be okay. So then you go to this tiny little database you stored inside. That's what you stored, nothing. You've had no experiences compared to how many other experiences there are. I always ask you, it's the same thing. I feel bad, right? How many experiences have you missed at the same time you're having an experience? How many other experiences were going on that you could have had everywhere throughout the world, throughout the universe, compared to the experience you had? Nothing. What you have is statistically insignificant. And you're building your entire life based on that as if it matters. Okay, now we understand why they say mind is the problem. That's a problem. Have another experience, you're a different person. Whatever happens, it comes in. And then in there, you try to be okay. I'm just trying to be okay. That's the self. And I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to feel insecure. I don't want those things. I don't want to get hurt like I got hurt before, do I? So you try to use your intellectual pattern of mind to put together a life that I can think of that when it unfolds, I'm going to be better. And you not just do it about the future, you do it about the past. There are things in your past that you say shouldn't have happened. You want to bet? You want to bet they should have happened? Every single event that ever happened in the entire universe came together and that event took place. It's called cause and effect. No, it should not have happened. It was wrong. It shouldn't have happened. Okay, fine. Have fun, because you won't. So you judge the future, you judge the past, and you try to put it all together into this thing called your ego, your personality, your self-concept. It's the concept of what you built inside your mind based on your past experiences. She played Dorothy in the 5th grade and everybody clapped. Now she has the Dorothy complex that everybody should clap when she goes on stage or does anything, or even at a party, says something, they're supposed to stop and listen like they did in 5th grade. Or you did your 5th grade thing and they all booed you. Now you'll never step on stage ever again. It patterns you. I know the trouble is it seems so logical. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. You're letting these random events. Why did they boo? I don't know, because the last time they watched Wizard of Oz was a professional show came through and and they were expecting to see the same thing, right? Somebody played it up like that. I don't know. Why they clap? Because they were all your family. And they purposely filled the thing. I don't know why. But the point is, it is meaningless. Do you understand? I'll make it now. I'll get you. Nothing that ever happened to you is meaningful. Now take a breath. Nothing that ever happened to you is meaningful. It's 1 out of 700 billion zillion moments in time and space that you happen to be standing there when that happened. It could have been anything else. Take a breath. I'm being very challenging. I can say it again. Nothing that ever happened to you has any meaning at all, but it does to you. Why? Because it hurt you. Because you didn't like it. You stored it inside. I don't like that color. I don't like that color. I want a little bit shade or blue. Now you're basically thinking you matter. I'm going to tell you, see, you don't matter. Look at me. Oh boy, we're having fun tonight. You don't matter. There's 8.3 billion of you guys at this moment running around the planet. And you're really important, aren't you? And I always tell you, okay, so that's just the planet. Every morning even I stand in front of a picture out there, which is look, everyone says, what is there? There's a little dot. That is a picture of actual photograph of the planet Earth from 2 million miles out. Why do you do that? To remind myself that it don't matter. 1.3 billion Earths fit inside the sun. The planet's been here for 4.5 billion years. How old are you? How long did it hang out here for? 80, 900 years? And you think you matter. That's the problem. That's not a solution. I'm going to tell you how to work with the mind. That ain't how to work with the mind. Just go in there and tell the mind, I matter. And I did really good in the 5th grade, and I want that to happen again. And my mother liked my sister more than me. I don't want it to have been like that. No, I don't talk to my sister. I don't talk to my mother. Okay, that's why my mind screwed up. You store that stuff in there and then try to figure out what to do about it. And that's why families don't talk to each other. That's why everybody gets divorced. That's why everybody quits their jobs. That's why they freak out because somebody else got the corner off and I deserved it. You're saying, I matter. How can you think like that? No wonder we're screwed up. You got to start your car. Nowadays, cars work. In the old days, they didn't always start. You got to start the car, and you got to get to work. It doesn't start. Ready? One person says, what did I do wrong? I went to church. I said my prayers. I said the Lord's Prayer this morning. Why didn't my car start? I'm not going to answer that. All right? Oh, somebody must have sabotaged it. Conspiracy theory. I wonder what somebody did to make my car didn't start. What are you doing? That's what you do with your mind. Do you see what a mess it is? It's a mess, one, because you think you matter. You're much better off saying, oh, I woke up this morning. Mazel tov. I wonder what's going to happen today. I'm going to have fun, whatever it is, because I'm just here for a little while, and I can't control the thing. It's way bigger than me. It's been here for a long time, and there's a lot of forces causing it to happen, and I'm fine. There, how you doing? That's your starting position, and that's the deepest spiritual teaching. He was last, will be first. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. It's like you're in there, and you built this ego. And the only way you're okay is if the outside world matches what you built inside. If it matches, I had a good day. If it doesn't match, I had a terrible year. Nothing went right. What do you mean it didn't go right? The earth didn't spin around the sun? There weren't 300 billion stars shining out in the heavens on one galaxy with nothing? They all screwed up, eh? Black holes ate a galaxy. Oh my God. You couldn't care less. You couldn't care less what's happening anywhere on the sun and this, unless it affects you. It's all about me. Okay, now let's talk about the mind. Did you build one of those in there? You got one in there? That's what you did with this Microsoft. You say what? Where do you want to go today? You know what you said? To hell. That's where I want to go. I want to suffer. I want to worry. I want to have anxiety. What do you worry about? You made up something in your head based on your past experiences about what you want and what you don't want. If it happens, you're fine. If it doesn't happen, you're not. And you don't even wait for it to happen. You worry. You worry that it might not happen, and you worry that what you don't want will happen. That's the cause of anxiety, tension, all of that is mind. Is causing that. But you can't blame mind. You did every single thing I talked about. You're the one that couldn't handle what happened, and you stored it inside, and now you build all these patterns and self-concepts and stuff like that of how I am and how I want everyone else to be, don't you? When you get in a relationship, do you want the other person to be the way you want them to be? They're not the way you want them to be. They have a whole history of patterns of every minute of every day programming them, and you think they're the same as you. I met my soulmate. Fat chance, right? People ask me, is there such a thing as a soulmate? Yes. And you're it. The only thing that matches you is that which has the patterns of all the things you've had before. So go find yourself. Okay. So now we have built this mind. We got it? I took my experiences, which were very personal. I stored them inside, and I said, I want them to happen again, or I don't want them to happen again. And then I built all these concepts of views and opinions and preferences and hopes and dreams based on that. Right? And then I decided what I'm going to do with my life based on that, what I'm going to try to do. And you wonder why you're a mess. And somebody say, I'm not a mess. I got great dreams. I'm going to match them. How you doing right now? Well, not so good right now. All right. But I'm getting there. I'm going to get there. Okay, fine. All right. Now, do you understand mind? I laid the groundwork for you to understand what is going on in there. It's not your mind's fault. That's like a computer is putting all kinds of garbage up by itself and so on. That's because you picked it. Those are the sites you went to. It's like that now, isn't it? They know where you at. They start throwing ads up based on what you saw 2 days ago. All right? Your mind's the same. You did it. You chose what's important. You chose what's not important. You chose where you want to go, where you don't want to go. You chose everything. I don't want this job. I don't like it anymore. I wanted to have a woman boss. I had a woman boss. I really loved it. Okay, fine. And then you say things like, but I really feel this way. Am I supposed to ignore my feelings? You don't mean to answer that. They're full of it. They're meaningless. If you had different experiences, if your boss had been a man and it was really fair and he was equal rights and all this kind of stuff, it's all based on your past experiences. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? Do you see how meaningless your past experiences are? You could have, at the same time, had a different experience. Anything, anywhere, all over. It's so hard for me to teach you this. What is going on inside of your mind is full of it. It is completely meaningless. And as long as you are listening to it, you are going to be a mess. You'll be afraid it's going to happen. You'll be hoping something happens. You meet somebody, you'll make decisions. Oh my God, this will be great. And you realize it's terrible. Just, you have no pole star in your life. It's all based on what your mind is telling you. And your mind is just a computer that's full of the data that got put in, not very full, that got put in by the absolutely meaningless moments that just happened to happen while you were walking down your path. But it seems like everything, doesn't it? That's because it's the only thing you got. There's nobody in there arguing with you. If they do, they're not your friend. All right, take a breath. And what does that mean? It means you're not getting anywhere like that. It means there's no hope. There's no peace. There's just anxiety. And underneath, now I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And you may not see it yet. Underneath is fear. Underneath is fear that you do something wrong, that you'll upset somebody, that someone will reject you. There's a deep, deep fear. And you're running away from that fear. You don't want to feel that fear. I want to get the A paper. I want to please everybody. I want to make sure I dress right. I'm going to do everything I can to not have to feel that fear. Now we're talking real, yes or no? Can you relate to that? Do you understand that? That's very, very deep. Don't be afraid to be honest. No, I'm doing great. You are not. But I made a lot of money last year. Yeah, well, in the 30s, they were the 28, 29, they threw us off the buildings in Wall Street. They lost it, they're gone. That is not doing well. What you did was define what success looks like. In the 60s, success was dropping out, having long hair, and just being free, okay? And it ain't like that now, okay? It's like everything changes. Everything's different. Maybe you thought you were successful. Well, you were being successful then with your peer group. What's peer groups? Other people who tend to think like you. Everybody? No, of course, the other people are wrong. Aren't they? So you wake up and you realize it's way deeper than that. Well, what do I do? Because this is what happened. This is the patterns I have. And that's the only way I can be okay if they match. You don't deny that. Let's get that straight. True spirituality does not deny truth. It does not set up what they used to call premature transcendence, or what's the word nowadays? I would forget it. Spiritual bypassing, where you make believe I'm there. I have no problems. Do you believe me? No, I don't believe you. Why don't you believe me? You got a spiritual ego. You built another one, and you worry whether people accept you. I'm a very spiritual person. Well, I don't see you as spiritual. Why? Yes, sir, I do. I meditate all the time. I meditate 4 hours a day. And what are you talking about? Why don't you feel it? You don't feel my energy? There's something wrong with you. It's all the same thing. It's just these concepts you built in your head, and you're trying to make it match. And you're afraid that it won't. Go to buy a dress or a shirt. I love that we put it on and we turn around the 6-sided mirror. What are you trying to look at? Either it's right for winter, or it's warm enough, or it's silk and it's right for summer. No. I'm trying to see how other people will look at me if I wear this. Isn't that cute? I'm not picking on you. I'm just waking you up. Don't stop doing it. I don't recommend stopping it. I recommend noticing it. Witness consciousness that you hear about. You don't try to stop it. Trying to stop it is to not understand where it's coming from. And then you try to push it down. No, I don't want to be like that. I don't care what I'm wearing. When you know you do, you go walking to some place and you had all the ripped jeans on. That was kind of cool. And everyone was wearing tuxedos. Uh-oh, who missed the message? Yes or no? Do you get embarrassed? Do you feel ashamed? Ever feel guilt? About what? I said something that I shouldn't have said. I did something that I shouldn't have done. Oh boy, it can get messy in there, can't it? Then what do? Try to offset it. Or sometimes you use rationalization. I was right to say that. She deserved that. Better than that, it helped her. I'm just being her teacher. That was really helped her that she had to go through that. She doesn't know it now, but someday she'll. Mind. Now do you understand mind? That's just mind. All based on this foundation that I taught you, which is you shove the stuff down there. Now you're Are you sensitive? Yeah, you're sensitive. Are you sensitive if somebody says something you don't like? Are you sensitive if somebody doesn't say what you want them to say? Are you sensitive if you think that someday they might not say what you want them to say? So what you've done is stored this thing inside this brilliant thing called mind, And you stored this garbage in there. You programmed it with your past experiences. You had no choice. You did have the past experience. We'll talk about it. I first want to get you to the point where you realize, okay, I screwed up. You hear me? It's not that somebody else screwed up. You couldn't handle what came in. Somebody else yelled at you. Why? Because their mother yelled at them. All right? The question is not, is it happening? It's happening everywhere. There's all kinds of things are happening. The question is, you in there who is experiencing what's happening, can you handle it? Remember, I told you, if it hurts a lot, you resist it. If it was really good, you cling to it. Then you build these models inside, and then you try to make the world be that way. What if you didn't do that? What if I didn't make the world be that way? You mean I have to be renunciating? No, I didn't say that. That's not deep enough. What if you didn't store the patterns? So it's clean in there. And so when things happen, they happen. You experience them, and then you deal with them. After having experienced them at peace, serenity, openness, compassion, understanding why things are the way they are. Now you understand why people are the way they are, aren't you? Because of everything that ever happened to them. Who said that? Freud. You said that? We're not talking about anything other than science. Well, how could you say that to me? Because I had totally different experiences than you. I didn't even think it would bother you. How could you not think it would bother me? My mother used to talk to me like that. You don't want to be like that. I don't want you to be like that. I know you don't have to be like that. How you like that? It is not about getting what you want. It could change in a minute. So you eventually catch on and you say, it's not about getting what I want. It's not about avoiding what I don't want. It's about understanding why I want things and why I don't want things. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. That's the first line of the deepest thing written in Zen ever, the third Zen patriarch. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. The great way means enlightenment, peace, serenity, merger with God. The great way, okay? The Buddha's nirvana is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Now, if I say that, you say to me, I have preferences. I have strong preferences. And when I get what I want, I feel much better. I'm not going to give my preferences, okay? Because you're not understanding. The question is not, how do I give up my preferences? Not am I supposed to have them. Why do you have preferences? Why are your preferences what they are? Because you were patterned by these past TV shows or movies or book or somebody said something, right? They left impressions on you. The great way is not difficult for those who don't have those impressions. It doesn't mean they don't interact with life. It doesn't mean if somebody offers them food and one makes them sick from past knowledge, one makes them feel good from past knowledge, they say, which one do you want? I have no preference. You do so. That's a meaningless thing. Accept the food that makes you feel better. But if somebody offers you food and it's the only food available and you're starving to death, don't be thinking about it, will you? See the difference? It's just a natural thing. You come in harmony with life. You don't sit there and say, I'm only okay if I'm getting what I want. And I'm never okay if I'm not getting what I want or even think about not getting what I want. That's when you start to work with your mind. You start to work with yourself. So it's not about not having preferences. It's about understanding where your preferences come from and then seeing, okay, I had a stepfather. I didn't get along with him. I didn't like him very much. I don't like steps. And I don't like fathers. And I don't like people named Ben. And I don't like the fact that my mother got divorced. I don't like the fact that she remarried. What did you just do? Like maggots, all this stuff's now built inside your mind, these impressions that are screwing up your life. If I get what I want, they're not screwing up my life. Yeah, I know. But you're not going to get what you want. That's not how it naturally unfolds. Things unfold the way they are. I used to teach, and I don't know who can hear it. Inside of you are the preferences that form based on your past experiences. Outside of you are the realities that are unfolding based on physics, chemistry, psychology, called cause and effect. Things happen that create the outside world. That is not what's happening right now that made your inside world. That's your past. That's all the garbage you stored in it from before. This outside doesn't know about that. There's no way it knows what you like or don't like. It's just unfolding. Oh, I saw a shooting star yesterday. It was so beautiful. I didn't see one. I wonder why God doesn't like me. What are you doing? It's just nature unfolding before your eyes. But it hits your stuff, doesn't it? All right. So now you're struggling. What is the truth? And how do you deal with it? First, I had somebody come to me once, very nice guy. It was very much into spirituality for a while. All right. And he said to me, when I said the great was not difficult for those who have no preferences, he was getting married. And basically she said, well, I have preferences. I said, fine. And I wrote him back. I thought about it. I said, okay, I'll give you another way out. Since you wanted to be a Buddhist, you want to be sincere in spirituality. I have a dispensation from the third Zen patriarch who wrote The Faith Mind, right? He said I was allowed to change that first line. The great way is not difficult for those who prefer everything. You're welcome to look at it that way. Because if you prefer everything, you're fine. If you have no preferences, you're fine. And actually, it works better to look at it that way. So that you're having these experiences and something inside, no, change it. I like it. I'm fine with it. I can handle it. I'm growing because of it. What she said really caused a lot of trouble. I want to be able to handle trouble. I don't want to be sensitive like that for the rest of my life. Thank you. Thank you for the growth. There. That's another way to look at it, is you work with yourself by taking each situation that unfolds and instead of it leave these samskaras inside of you, these marks and patterns that determine the mess of the rest of your life, right? You start honoring and respecting life. It's unfolding. It's an amazing thing. I just never have enough time to talk to you, right? How can you sit there and judge a world outside that can take a single fertilized cell by itself, no doctors, no scientists, no philosophers, and make a baby out of that cell? What's making the baby? Life. Every tree you drive by was a seed that took dirt and sunlight and water and knew how to break it down molecularly and turn it into the bark and all that stuff of a tree to where it grew into an oak tree all by itself. You didn't do anything. And you want to sit there and say, this world is not okay. I better get busy because I'm not going to get what I want. Why don't you want that? You're not paying attention. You're so caught in your own thoughts. That's what I mean. They talk about his mind. You're so caught in your own mind about what you want, what you don't want, and what he did, and what the past was, and what the future might be. What should you wear? And we'll go on in there that you can't see reality. Spirituality is about saying, okay, guess what? I'm going to get to where I want to get. All right, it takes time. That junk that's going on inside that personal mind, that ain't reality. How do you know? Because you have to work hard to try and make it be. The fall from the garden, what does it say? When you fell from the garden, now you must work by the sweat of your brow to be okay. Just check it out in the Bible. You working with the sweat of your brow? Anybody been busy all their whole life trying to work with the sweat of your brow, trying to be okay? Of course you are, and you will be till your deathbed. It ain't going to stop. It ain't going to stop. Do you understand that? Has it stopped? You know anybody? Yeah, pictures on a wall, enlightened beings. That's what it means to be enlightened. It stopped. Just for kicks, I'm going to get ahead of myself. What happens if it stops? Can it stop? Of course it can stop. It has a cause. And it has a cause. You can work with it. So that cause is not there. I explained to you the cause of the mind being so busy is because you stored this garbage in there, which is just preferences. Things you want and things you don't want. And it makes the mind think, how do I get what I want? How do I avoid what I don't want? How do I, okay? I mean, again, I throw it in real quickly. Who taught this? Buddha. All of life is suffering. First noble truth. Can you relate? Doesn't mean you broke your arm every day, but you are suffering. Okay? The second noble truth. The cause of suffering is preference. It gets translated to desire. What is a desire? A preference. There ain't no desire without a preference. What he's sitting there saying is, if you have a preference, your mind is going to go crazy. That's all there is to it. So all of spirituality is foundationed on that. But what do they do about it? Okay, so what you find out is, one, the mind is the way it is because of things you didn't know you were doing. It's not your fault, no guilt, because that's how you used it. You drove your car into a crowd. The car didn't do it. Your mind is not wrong. It's not doing anything wrong. You're using it that way. It's like a computer. You can go to the dark web, all kinds of things you can go, or you can go study science. You can do anything, or create and make art. You are deciding it. It's the same thing that's going on in your mind. Okay, what do you do about it? It's very simple once you get to the end. What's the problem? The problem is I couldn't handle the situation that took place in my life. It's not the situation. I couldn't handle it. Now, you will then come back to me extremes. Somebody killed my parents, somebody treated me wrong. Of course I can't handle it. You're welcome to say that, all right? And the extremes are very difficult to talk about. I agree, but we don't live at the extremes. Those extremes are a very small percentage of your life for most people. Do you understand that? 99.99999% of the people that walk the face of the earth did not live at an extreme. Even if they're poor, even if they're poverty, just they weren't having outside events that are very hard to talk about and are intolerable, right? What are they having? It's raining when they don't want it to. The driver in front of them is driving the wrong speed. They're not using their blinkers. Somebody didn't answer me when I called to them. I called somebody on the phone and needed to talk to somebody. They didn't answer. I got a stupid voicemail. You get bothered by everything. So the way out is to first catch on and say, I want out. I do not want to live inside this mess that is created within my mind that has tremendous history. It's very hard to deal with. The easiest way to deal with it is habit. Just do what it says to do. Go to a party. I can't wait to get to the party. I'm so excited. This is going to be unbelievable. I've been looking forward to it for months, all right? You go to the party. Your mind says, wait a minute. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't like it. You actually leave. You listen to that maniac. Why don't you want to be here? You didn't even say that. You say, no, can we go? I want to go. You want to go? I'll go by myself. Wow. I've just painted the picture where that thing came from. You want to listen to it? You want to listen to its preferences and hopes and dreams and constant views and all the junk that got built in there and let it run your life? The answer is, yeah, you do it all the time, everybody. That's what's going on in there. You get to a point, you walk around the world and you have compassion because you're not doing that so much. And you look at everybody and they have like this fishbowl over their head with, you better watch what you say. It's very easy to step into muck in there, isn't it? That's going on inside of everybody. But it's not the same as what's going on inside of you. It should be. No, it should not be. It's the sum of their learned experiences driving them crazy. Not the sum of your learned experiences driving you crazy. And eventually you come down and you say, God, I hope this talk helps you. Ready? I want to. That's spirituality. It's not your religion. It's not who you chose for a guru. It's not what books you read. It's just very simple. Excuse me, sir. I want out. I don't want to live in this. It's not a whole lot of fun. Does that mean you don't interact with life? You have to interact with life. Life is an interactive sport. You hear me? I tried to drop out. I tried to move out of the middle of the woods back in 71. There was nobody else out here. It was totally quiet. It was a little house, a hut, whatever. And then I'm trying to meditate. Oh, sincere. And the dog would bark. Well, the dog wasn't on my property. And the dog's barking. Well, I don't want the dog barking. There you go. I didn't know where you're going. The world's coming with you. You understand that? It's a matter of saying, I want out. Got to hear me now. Out of that mess in there. Can you get out? Yes. 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 You can get out. But it takes time. It takes effort. It takes sincerity. The reason I gave this whole foundation is Buddhists say work at the root. Don't work at the fact that the mind is saying something you don't want it to say and trying to shut it up. That's the leaf. The root is still there. We've discussed what the root of the whole thing is. The stuff that you couldn't handle from your past. Otherwise, there are white lines on the road. There are clouds passing by. There are events that happen. Good. I don't deny them. Felt good when they happen. It felt bad when they happen. Who cares? They just pass right through. Right? Hello. There's a snake. Oh, it's scary. Oh, my God. Okay. He crawled away. Okay. I'm okay. I don't freak out because I hear a rattle. I don't freak out because I see a rope. I didn't store it. That's the key. Buddhists talk about empty mind. It means you didn't store this stuff in there. And we'll talk about what happens when you live like that. All right? So basically, you start catching on to say, all right, I'm going to work at the root of the problem. And it is the root of the problem. And so you start letting go of the simple things in life that are bothering you for no reason. The rain should not bother you. The cold should not bother you. Put a jacket on or walk from your car to the house without complaining. These things matter. You're reinforcing the patterns that got built in there. Somebody else loves the cold. I walk with people some of the days, oh my God, it's risky. I love it. Somebody else, all right? It's just all your past experiences. Don't let them leave impressions. Experience them by all means. You're going to experience them. Don't not experience it. That's another form of suppression and repression. Welcome it. That's what I got. Welcome every single thing that passes through your senses. Everything that comes in from the outside. It's a baby being born. It's an oak tree growing. It's Publix having food because the sun was shining. Look where you live, for God's sakes. And you start appreciating, and it exists. Not it exists the way you want it to be, just that it exists. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Come on, man. A little planet in the middle of nowhere. All this is going on. Would you rather go to Mars and have nothing going on? That's how you think. Stop comparing it against what you think you want to happen, what you don't want to happen. Compare it against nothing. And always say, whoa, I mean, it's really true that the seed knows how to make a baby. Lungs, pituitary glands. Oh my God. Unbelievable, isn't it? Pay attention. And that's a better thing to do with your mind. Honor reality, accept reality, welcome reality. Now, some things are going to happen that are not that easy to deal with. Something happened to you when you were young and you left marks, and now it starts to come up. You didn't realize it was still down there, or you did, you push it down every time, right? Eventually, if you want out, you don't do that. You don't do what? It's down there. Yeah, but don't push it back down. But it hurts. Oh, it was stored with pain. It's coming back with pain. When you work out, it's no pain, no gain. But the same thing when you work in. And so you start catching on. You can get out, but do it at the root. As you let go at the root of these tiny little things. I'm practicing the piano. The reason you're practicing is so you get better. And you do that with everything. Relationships, business, everything. You're working not to get anything personal, just to do your best and learn from the results and grow and learn. Life becomes totally different, and it will liberate you. Life will liberate you. Life is your guru. It's the greatest guru you'll ever have. As you let go, you get higher. Why? Because this stuff is distracting your consciousness and keeping you bound. You don't need to be bound. You need to be free. But you can't be free when something's distracting your consciousness. Do we understand? Did the foundation help? There's a reason your mind does what it does. It's not your mind's fault. There's a reason the computer does what it does. Somebody programmed it. It did not do anything before they programmed it. I'll tell you that right now, okay? And so your past experiences left impressions on you because you let them. You weren't able to handle them. And that programmed your mind to be the way it is. Does it have to be that way? No, it does not. It can change every single day. Every day you wake up in the morning, you sit there and say, the event's going to happen today. I'm going to do my best to welcome them, to honor them, to respect them, to worship them. This is reality. I want to experience reality. And if I have trouble, I love the trouble because it means that I got something stored in there that can't handle reality, and I don't want anything in there that can't handle reality. All right? And you're just every day, you won't do it, you'll fail. That's beautiful. That's like making a mistake when you're playing piano. That's why you're doing it. And every morning you wake up, you're a higher being who woke up the morning before. Every morning, you're a higher being than you were the morning before, unless you let the day bother you enough so you carried your garbage into the next day. All right, I'm out of time. I don't want to be out of time. Do you get it? Do you see it? Do you see your relationship with your mind? Your mind is a great thing, but what you've done with it, you do not want to be following that thing. It's not about getting what you want. It's not about avoiding what you don't want. Those are a trap. That means basically these are patterns I have. Now I'm going to let them run my life. You have to sit there and say, no, life is unfolding and I'm going to handle it. I'll be okay with it. I'm going to raise it. And you start with raising and okay with it. And eventually I know where I got, right? It's not even enough to appreciate it and say thank you. You look down inside to what you stored in there. Ready? And you apologize. I am so sorry that I took part of myself that I couldn't handle and I shoved it down into the dark because I don't want to experience it anymore. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're welcome to come up now. I will help you. I want you to come up. I don't care that it hurts. I don't care what it is. I want out. All right. I'll stop because I have to. Although I wouldn't. You know I wouldn't. Jagged.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.